8 is Enough brought family laughter, warmth, and real-life chaos right into millions of living rooms, becoming a massive television favorite. But behind those bright on-screen smiles, the passing years brought sudden tragedies and painful goodbyes. Today, we check in on the cast then and now, remembering the icons we lost, and honoring the incredible mark they left behind. Grant Goodeve anchored the show as David Bradford, the responsible oldest brother whose steady, quiet presence shaped who the Bradfords really were. Farn. Steady but never boring, David quickly became the sibling that millions of families looked up to, keeping the peace in a house packed with wild, clashing personalities. Born July 6, 1952, in Middlebury, Connecticut, Farn. Goodeve joined the show at only 25, bringing a depth and steady confidence you rarely saw in actors that young. His easy chemistry with the cast became one of the show's biggest strengths, turning a simple sitcom idea into a massive hit that defined late 1970s television. Instead of fading after the show ended, he built a really diverse career as an actor, musician, and TV host, even voice acting. Now 74, Grant Goodeve is still deeply tied to David Bradford, a character whose pure heart, kindness, and quiet strength still define the show. Diane Kay made Nancy Bradford way more than just the oldest daughter. She became the true emotional heart of the series. Farman. Show genuine warmth and easy sincerity, Nancy made every scene feel comforting. Audiences immediately connected with her. Born January 5, 1954, in Phoenix, Arizona, Kay was just 23 when she joined the family, but her acting showed an incredible confidence right from the start. That fame quickly landed her guest spots on huge hits like Fantasy Island and The Love Boat, though she eventually stepped back to live a quiet life, far from the Hollywood spotlight. Today, at 72, Diane Kay is still proudly linked to this legendary family drama. Her sweet portrayal of Nancy reminds us why the show still holds a special place in television history. Lani O'Grady turned Mary Bradford into an absolute fan favorite, giving her a unique mix of real warmth, sharp confidence, and fierce independence. As the oldest sister, Mary was caught between youth and adulthood, navigating her own tough issues while staying incredibly loyal to her siblings. That messy, realistic journey made her story a fan favorite. Born October 2, 1954, in Walnut Creek, California, O'Grady was just 22 when she took on the role, yet she handled the heavy, emotional scenes with total grace. The massive success of the show quickly turned her into a household name, but off-camera, life got tough as she battled severe anxiety and addiction, struggles she later shared very openly. Her journey cut short on September 25, 2001, from complications with prescription drugs and chronic illness, passing away at only 46. Though her life was tragically cut short, Lani O'Grady's beautiful work as Mary Bradford is still remembered as a standout performance. That gave the entire show its real heart. Laurie Walters brought a bright energy and real honesty to Joni Bradford, building a character who literally grew up right alongside millions of fans over 4 seasons. Joni perfectly captured the daily struggles of big family life, and Walters played those moments with such genuine warmth that she felt way less like a TV character and more like an actual sister. Born January 8, 1947, San Francisco, California. Walters joined the show at 30, bringing a solid acting background that helped anchor the young cast from day one. After the show, she kept guest starring on TV before shifting her focus to theater and teaching, where she passionately mentored young, aspiring actors. Now 79 years old, Laurie Walters is still deeply loved by fans, and her role as Joni perfectly captures the heart and hope that made the show a classic. Adam Rich quickly became the absolute breakout kid star of the series. He won over audiences everywhere as Nicholas Bradford, the youngest son with a bright smile. His innocent curiosity and signature bowl cut became instantly iconic, right across America. Nicholas always brought the laughs, but Adam Rich's natural charm gave him a real innocence. Viewers just couldn't forget him. He was born on October 12, 1968, in Brooklyn, New York, and was only 8 when the show started, quickly becoming one of the most famous kid actors of the late 1970s. But after the fame, growing up got rough. He battled addiction and ran into legal trouble, which totally eclipsed his incredible talent. His life came to a tragic end on January 7, 2023, at 54 years old. Authorities later confirmed he died from a fentanyl overdose after years of health battles. Still, Adam Rich is forever remembered as Nicholas Bradford, a kid whose innocence brings back sweet nostalgia for generations of fans. Dick Van Patten was already a seasoned TV veteran before 8 is Enough introduced him to a whole new crowd as Tom Bradford, a loving dad whose patience, wisdom, and quiet resolve ended up being the soul of the show. Instead of playing some perfect TV dad, Van Patten gave us a real father juggling work, loss, and the crazy job of raising 8 kids, making Tom Bradford one of TV's most beloved fathers. He was born on December 9, 1928, in New York City. His long career actually started as a kid actor, decades before we ever welcomed the Bradford family into our living rooms. The massive hit of 8 is Enough made him an icon. He went on to do tons of movies and shows while fighting hard for animal rights. His incredible run ended on June 23, 2015, from diabetes complications at 86 years old. Dick Van Patten was more than just one role. But for millions of fans, Tom Bradford will always be the father who defined a whole generation of family TV. Willie Aames brought a wild energy to Tommy Bradford, perfectly capturing the chaotic vibe of growing up in a house with 8 kids. Absolutely. Whether he was causing trouble, learning tough lessons, or sharing sweet moments, Tommy made this family feel incredibly real. He was born on July 15, 1960, in Newport Beach, California. Aames joined the show at 17, already possessing years of experience before the cameras. His fame soared even higher with roles in Charles in Charge and tons of made-for-TV movies. But later on, he fought very public battles with addiction, and went broke before pulling off an incredible comeback. Lately, he has been totally open about beating those demons and rebuilding his career and his life. Now 66, Willie Aames is respected not just for his classic TV roles, but for the grit he showed surviving everything after the cameras stopped rolling. Betty Buckley brought class, brains, and real depth to Abby Bradford, caring teacher who became Tom's second wife and a loving stepmom to their kids. Jumping into a hit show was never going to be easy, but Buckley won viewers over by making Abby warm, strong, and deeply empathetic instead of just copying the past. Born July 3, 1947, in Big Spring, Texas. She was 30 when she joined 8 is Enough, bringing a heavy theater background that made every scene she was in much better. Her career quickly exploded from there. She won a Tony for Cats and earned massive praise on Broadway, in movies, TV, and music, becoming a true stage legend. Today, at 79, Betty Buckley is still inspiring crowds after a career that has lasted over 60 years, and Abby Bradford remains one of the most beloved, graceful moms in the history of classic family television. Toma brought a quiet confidence and real heart to Dr. Greg Maxwell, a character whose steady presence kept things grounded in the hectic world of 8 is Enough. Instead of starting drama, Greg won people over with his kindness, professionalism, and the kind of solid traits that made him a natural fit for the extended Bradford family. He was born March 2, 1951. Toma was 27 when he landed the gig in San Francisco, California, already building a name as a versatile young actor. Even after 8 is Enough, he kept building a rock-solid career in popular TV dramas and movies. He always delivered incredibly realistic performances without ever chasing the spotlight. He never became your typical leading man, but directors always valued him for his absolute reliability. Today, at 75 years old, Michael Toma is still fondly remembered by his longtime fans. His portrayal of Dr. Greg Maxwell still perfectly highlights the warmth and realism that defined TV's most beloved family dramas. Joan Prather made Janet MacArthur Bradford an instantly lovable addition to the whole Bradford family story, bringing grace, warmth, and emotional honesty to every single scene. Janet's relationship with David Bradford pushed the family into a new chapter, exploring marriage and real-world responsibilities, and adulthood while keeping that warm heart the audience loved. She was born October 17, 1950, in Dallas, Texas. Prather was 28 when she joined the show, already known for her work in The Single Girls and other TV hits. Her down-to-earth acting style gave Janet a natural authenticity, making her feel like a real Bradford, rather than just some new character. Even though she gradually stepped away from acting in her later years, her work is still warmly remembered by classic TV fans. Today at 75, Joan Prather's portrayal of Janet is still valued as a key relationship that helped Eight is Enough grow beyond a basic family drama into a deeper story about life, love, and growing together. Brian Patrick Clark brought absolute confidence, charm, and easygoing charisma to Merle the Pearl Stockwell, a character who became a huge part of Susan Bradford's storyline. Merle's arrival shook up the family dynamics, allowing Eight is Enough to dive into marriage and adult life from a fresh perspective while keeping its signature warmth. Born on August 1, 1952, Gettysburg. Clark joined the series at 26, bringing a strong athletic presence and pure natural charm to the screen. His career kept rolling with appearances in hit TV shows like General Hospital, Baywatch, Murder, She Wrote, and plenty of primetime dramas, making him a very familiar face to viewers during the 1980s and 90s. Today, at 74, Brian Patrick Clark is still fondly remembered for that effortless charm he brought to his roles, while Merle Stockwell remains one of the most memorable supporting characters from the show. Ralph Macchio showed up in Eight is Enough long before he became one of Hollywood's biggest household names, playing Jeremy Andretti with the exact same natural sincerity that would define his entire career. Even though Jeremy was just a supporting character, Macchio's youthful energy left a huge impression and teased the massive future waiting for him. Born November 4, 1961 in Huntington, New York, he was only 17 during his run on the series, already showing the confidence and emotional honesty that would soon win over audiences worldwide. Just a few years later, he skyrocketed to global fame as Daniel LaRusso in The Karate Kid, a role that became one of the most iconic in cinema history, before he returned decades later in the smash hit Cobra Kai. Now 64 years old, Ralph Macchio still enjoys massive worldwide admiration, and his run on Eight is Enough remains a key milestone in an amazing career spanning nearly 5 decades. Virginia Vincent brought a warmth and authenticity to Daisy Maxwell that beautifully captured the comforting spirit of Eight is Enough, offering wisdom, kindness, or just quiet support. Daisy represented that steady, dependable older generation who really anchored the show's emotional core. Born on May 3, 1918 in Goshen, New York, Vincent had already built up decades, deep experience in film, television, theater, before joining the Bradford family story. Her incredible career included memorable roles in classics like The Andromeda Strain, Apple Dumpling Gang, The Long, Long Trailer, and dozens of popular TV shows, earning a reputation as one of Hollywood's most respected character actresses. Her incredible life came to a close on February 3, 2013, passing away from natural causes at 94. Virginia Vincent left behind a massive career, building a body of work that stretched over 50 years, with her turn as Daisy Maxwell remaining one of those sweet performances that kept Eight is Enough close to our hearts. Casey Martell brought plenty of natural charm to Marvin, giving us another incredibly relatable teen on 8 is Enough. Fawn. Marvin might not have been a main character, but Martell played him so naturally that he fit right into the messy, real-world family dynamic. Born September 14, 1967, in Los Angeles, California, Fan. He was only 10 years old when he appeared on the show, already showing the easy confidence of a future star. Fans would later spot him in hits like Growing Pains, The Hogan Family, and The Facts of Life. He also popped up in E.T. and Me, locking in his status as a familiar face throughout the 1980s. Today, at 58, K.C. Martell is still fondly remembered by fans of classic television. Fan. With his time on 8 is Enough, marking just the beginning of a run that kept families entertained for years, Larry Gelman turned Officer Bernstein into an instant favorite, using his sharp comedic timing and sheer on-screen charm. Even with a smaller role, Feldman had this amazing gift for stealing absolutely every scene he was in, a talent comedy fans already knew and loved. Born on February 3, 1930, in Brooklyn, New York, he joined the show already established as one of Hollywood's most reliable character actors. Fawn. He showed up in legendary classics like Get Smart and Barney Miller, Chips and The Bob Newhart Show, along with dozens of other hits, where his expressive face made him a fan favorite without ever needing top billing. His long run finally came to an end on February 24, 2021, following cancer complications at 91. Today, Gelman's incredible catalog of supporting roles is still warmly remembered, and his stint on 8 is Enough is just another proof of the light he brought to the screen. Fawn. Connie Needham gave Elizabeth Bradford a bright, energetic spark that fit right into the family's shifting dynamics. Fawn. Playing one of the younger daughters, Faunen. Elizabeth went through those classic teen struggles that made viewers feel like they were part of the family. Needham handled those moments with real sincerity, letting us watch Elizabeth grow up right before our eyes. Born December 5, 1959, in Anaheim, California, she was only 17 when she joined the cast, quickly becoming a key piece of the show. Fawn. After the series, she took on a few more TV roles before slowly stepping away from acting to focus on family and charity work. Farm. Now 66, Connie Needham is still fondly remembered for bringing that sweet energy to Elizabeth, a performance that still triggers warm memories for everyone who grew up watching one of television's most beloved families. Diana Hyland left an incredible impact on 8 is Enough as Joan Bradford, the loving mother who set the tone for the entire show. Even though Joan was only there briefly before she passed away, Hyland's deep warmth and grace built a family bond that kept the show grounded for years. Fawn. Born January 25, 1936, in Cleveland Heights, Ohio, she came to the show with a stellar background on Broadway and in primetime dramas. Behind the scenes, she was loved for her talent and her romance with John Travolta, who stayed right by her side until the very end. She passed away on March 27, 1977, after a tough battle with breast cancer, just 41. Though her run on the show was tragically brief, Diana Hyland's presence remained the very heart and soul of the Bradford household, leaving a mark that would last for generations. Faunton. Don Matheson brought a quiet, cool confidence to Robert Decker, adding another heavy-hitting presence to the world of the Bradford family. His relaxed style made every scene feel completely real, a skill that had already earned him serious respect in Hollywood before he signed on. Born August 5, 1929, in Dearborn, Michigan, Matheson built a long career across television and film, commercial gigs, popping up in hits like Land of the Giants, Daniel Boone, and The Twilight Zone, plenty of other classic shows. He didn't chase the spotlight. Instead, he made a name as a reliable pro who lifted up every single set he stepped on. His long run finally ended on June 6, 2014, after suffering complications from a stroke at age 84. Vaughn Matheson's time on 8 is Enough was just one chapter in a life defined by steady, quiet grace and a real presence. Fan. Louise Latham gave Catherine Mitchell a deep elegance and wisdom, and a raw honesty that fit right into the family drama of Eight is Enough form. Decades in the business showed in every frame, making even her smallest roles completely unforgettable. Farm, born September 23, 1922, in Hamilton County, Texas, she spent decades working before she ever joined the show, earning her stripes with memorable roles in movies like Marnie, The Waltons, Kojak, Barnaby Jones, and tons of TV classics. People loved how she played tough but warm-hearted women, a skill that never faded over her decades on screen. Her long run ended on February 12, 2018, passing away from natural causes at 95. Louise Latham's incredible mark on Hollywood lives on in her massive body of work, with Catherine Mitchell as one of her most beloved roles. Dennis Patrick brought a sharp authority to Harry Mitchell, showing off the confidence of a seasoned industry pro. Whether playing tough bosses or deeply broken men, Patrick had this quiet fire that just pulled you in. Born March 14, 1918, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, he'd already carved out his spot as one of TV's best character actors long before he ever joined Eight is Enough. His massive resume featured big roles in Dark Shadows, The Incredible Hulk, Knots Landing, Dallas, dozens of other huge shows over the decades. His great run ended on October 13, 2002, after losing a battle with cancer at age 84. Dennis Patrick is still remembered for the real depth and professionalism he brought to every frame, making his scenes in Eight is Enough stick with old-school fans even today. Elam made Joe Simon unforgettable, using that wild screen presence that made him one of Hollywood's ultimate Western legends. With his unique look and raw, rugged charm, Elam spent decades playing rough outlaws, lawmen, and wild cowboy characters, before bringing his charm to Eight is Enough. Born November 13, 1920, in Miami, Arizona, he put together a massive career starring in classics like Rio Lobo, Report Your Local Sheriff, Once Upon a Time in the West, High Noon, and endless other Western hits. He could mix real grit with a sudden wink of humor, winning over generations of movie fans. His long journey ended on October 20, 2003, from heart failure at 82 years old. Jack Elam is still one of the most iconic faces in Western film history, and every TV guest spot, including Eight is Enough, got a huge lift from his unforgettable charm. Susan Richardson quickly became the heart of Eight is Enough, with her genuine take on Susan Bradford Stockwell, feisty, independent daughter who helped drive some of the show's most emotional storylines. We saw Susan grow up on screen, transitioning naturally over the years, letting fans grow up with her, making her incredibly easy to connect with. Born March 11, 1952, Pottsville, Pennsylvania, Richardson was 25 when the series hit the air, bringing real warmth and raw honesty to the role. After the show ended, she popped up on TV for a while, before slowly stepping back to live a quieter life. Though she faced hard health and personal struggles later in life, still gets plenty of love from dedicated fans who remember her in one of TV's greatest family shows. Now 74 years old. Susan Richardson's portrayal of Susan Bradford remains a beautiful symbol of the warmth that defined Eight is Enough. Thanks for watching this cast tribute. Which actor or character will you always remember most? Drop your memories in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more classic then and now stories.